guys, Tayura here and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you've already been here, thanks for coming back. So in today's video, I'm coming at you guys with another top 10 video. Today we are doing blushes. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 blushes, and I have options for you guys. I have creams, I have powders, I have drugstore, I have high-end. So if you are interested in seeing my favorite blushes, then please keep on watching. Before we start the video, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Please turn your post notifications on so you get notified every time your girl uploads a video, and follow me on Instagram. And with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Okay, you guys, so before I jump into showing you guys the blushes and swatching them, I want to show you guys the tools that I usually use to apply my blush, because depending on if I'm working with a cream or a liquid or a powder, the tools are different. So if I'm going in with a liquid blush, I personally like to apply my liquids to the back of my hand and then go in with a sponge. That way I have more control over the product and I get a more even application, especially if you are new to liquid blushes. I found that that technique really works for me because, as I said, I'm not a pro when it comes on to liquid. So the sponge that I love to use is this e.l.f. sponge right here. You can use any sponge, but this one, the thing that I love about it is that it has a flat side. So when I blend the blush on the back of my hand, then apply it to my face, everything goes on evenly and I don't have to be worrying about fixing a patch or anything like that, and it doesn't lift any cream that I have on my face. And I can use this technique on top of creams and also on top of powders, depending on the liquid blush that I'm going to be using. So the next tool that I love to use is a brush, and this is the brush that I love to use to apply powder blushes. These are the two that I recommend to get a more even application, a more seamless application, especially if you are just getting into blush. I do recommend something like either one of these brushes because they apply the product without applying too much, because of how fluffy the brush is and because of how tapered the brush is. So my two favorite is this one. This is the BK104 brush. As I said, it's tapered, but it's fluffy where it's not too fluffy, so you get that perfect application. And the next one is the Morphe E3 brush. This one is also a tapered kind of fluffy brush, but the BK brush is just a little bit more pointy than the Morphe. These are the two that I recommend, especially if you're just getting into blushes. This will give you a really nice even application. As I said, if you're a pro, over time, if your brushes are dirty, you just grab whatever you can find to apply your blushes. But these two are perfect if you're looking for like good fluffy blush brush. The next two brushes that I love for applying cream blushes. So I prefer to use a more angled brush to apply my cream blushes because, once again, I feel like I get a better application when I use a angled brush, and it just applies just enough product, and it kind of like shapes out my cheeks, if that makes sense. If you don't know where to put your blush, this kind of acts as like a guide. So like right here, when I have the perfect size, when I put it right here, it kind of you just follow the line, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but that is kind of what I did when I was just getting into cream blushes. And this one is from Wet n Wild. I don't know if you can find this anymore, but this is just my favorite brush for cream blushes. I've had this for years. When I tell you this brush is so beat up, if you find this, it's probably going to be in Walmart or something, but I just feel like this gives the perfect application when it comes on to cream blush. Another really good option is one that I recently discovered. This is from BK Beauty. This is BK Beauty X Angie Hot and Flashy. This is their 507 brush. Same concept as the one from Wet n Wild. As I said, I don't know if it's because it's angled, it gives you a more smoother application when you're applying your creams. If you use a brush with your creams, you can easily go back in with a sponge and blend it out more if you've applied too much product, but I just love a good angled brush to apply my cream blushes. Okay, so I hope all of that was helpful. I hope all of that made sense. I tried to explain as best as possible. So I'm going to start with my more affordable blushes that I love, because I know you guys love a good affordable option. The first one that I'm going to start with is the one that I'm actually wearing today. This one is coming from CoverGirl. This is their high pigment blush. This one is in the shade Hot Frenzy. If you love a good orange blush, this is a really good one. This is literally the perfect orange blush, especially if you don't want to break the bank. This is one that will give you a really nice flush of color, but you can also build it up if you love a super glam blush. As I said, this is the one that I used today. It's just a perfect orange blush. It is CoverGirl. It's from the drugstore. The formula is very nice. I feel like even though it is a powder blush, it isn't super powdery. Like when you apply it, it literally blends into your skin like butter. It doesn't look powdery on my cheeks at all. I love this blush. If you're looking for good drugstore blushes, definitely try this one out from CoverGirl. And as I said, it is very pigmented. I'm going to quickly swatch this and show you guys. Okay, you guys, so this is the CoverGirl blush. As I said, very pigmented. You can definitely build this blush up. The formula is just so buttery and smooth for a powder blush. I really love this. If you're looking for a good orange blush from the drugstore, definitely try this one out from CoverGirl, because y'all, this orange, it's orange without being too much. That's what I love about it. So I feel like if you're a beginner, you can definitely try this one out. In the pan, when you look at it, you're like, oh no, this is too bright. But when you apply it to the cheeks, it is just the perfect orange blush. Even if you're darker than me or a couple shades darker than me, you can still pull this shade off. So once again, this is in the shade Hot Frenzy. I will have this linked down below for you guys, as well as everything that I mentioned in today's video. The next blush that I have is also from the drugstore. This one is from e.l.f. This is a cream blush. If you want a good cream blush, some of the best cream blushes that I've tried is from e.l.f. This is from their Putty blush collection. This one is in the shade Fiji. When I tell you, the perfect orange cream blush. If you love a good orange blush, you are going to love this. I learned this from Jackie Aina. If you are dark skinned and you don't know where to start with blushes, a orange blush or a more berry plum blush. So when you watch this video, you'll notice that I have a lot of orange blushes, because I feel like orange blushes just look perfect on dark skin. And then once you get comfortable with your oranges and your plums, then you can step out and try more. But this one is a really good one from the drugstore. Very affordable. I'm going to swatch this and show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to use a brush to swatch this because the pan is just so small. That's the only thing that I don't like about this blush, but the formula is everything. Okay, so this is the e.l.f. blush. I know my swatch is a little bit messy, but I went in with a brush. This is another true orange blush. This is literally the perfect orange cream blush. The formula is really nice. At the end of the video, I'll swatch all the blushes all at once and show you what all of them looks like. But just so it doesn't get messy, I'll swatch each one as I talk about it. This is a beautiful orange blush. If you're looking for a good orange blush from the drugstore, I believe this is like $6. Very inexpensive. Like, this is a really good one to start with. Okay, so the next blush that I have is a cream. This one is coming from LYS. Being honest, you guys, some of the best cream blush formula that I've tried so far right now is coming from LYS. The formula is there, pigment is there, the shades is there. Like, they just get it right. And two of my favorite shades from LYS, this one is in the shade Passion and this one is in the shade Epic. Once again, I told you guys that I love a good orange or a good plum berry kind of shade, and this is what you get. Like, these, amazing. When I tell you, if you are just getting into cream blushes, you do not know where to start, definitely check out LYS. I love LYS because the price point is not as cheap as the drugstore, but it's not as hefty as other brands in Sephora, and you can find them in Sephora. It's just the perfect price point. The formula is amazing. It's a clean brand, by the way, and it's also Black owned. Like, you guys, like, get into these blushes. Once again, this one is the shade Passion, this one is the shade Epic. I'm going to swatch them and show you guys what they look like. But good blush formulas right now in 2022, some of the best blush formulas that I've tried is coming from LYS. Okay, so this one at the top is the shade Passion and this one at the bottom is the shade Epic. I'm going to keep saying this right throughout the video. You cannot go wrong with a good orange or a good berry plum blush. you will not go wrong. I know this looks a little bit more pinky on camera, but in person it's like a more plummy pink, if that makes sense. It's a really, really nice blush. Really, really good blush formulas. Definitely check out LYS. You are not going to be disappointed. Okay, you guys, so moving on to what really got me into cream blushes. I love these blushes. This is why I started wearing cream blushes. This is why I tried liquid blushes, and this is the Fenty Beauty cream blushes. I know a lot of people don't like these blushes, but I personally love them. I feel like it is perfect if you are just getting into blushes. I feel like this was perfect as a beginner at the time that I tried it. I have this in the shade Summertime Wine and the shade Daiquiri Dip. As I said before, you cannot go wrong with a plum and you cannot go wrong with a orange. So this is Summertime Wine and this is Daiquiri Dip. The thing that I love about the Fenty Beauty blush formula is that I can apply it on my creams and I can also apply it on top of my powders and it doesn't move. The thing that I love with this is that to get it to be super pigmented, you have to build it up. So as a beginner, it is very, very easy to work with. I can go in with as much product as I want and it blends out into my skin, and then I just build it up to my liking. So it was very, very hard for me to mess up with these blushes, which is why I really, really love them. So this is what these two look like. Once again, this is Summertime Wine and this one is Daiquiri. So this is what they look like. Once again, the one at the top is Summertime Wine and the orange at the bottom is Daiquiri Dip. As you can see, you get the pigment, but it's not as bold and as pigmented as say the LYS blushes. But I do feel like if you are a beginner, this is really, really good to start with because you can like build it up to your liking. Like once you blend this blush out, like it is just gorgeous. Like just look at that. It is so, so hard to mess up with the Fenty blushes, and that is what I loved about it at the time when I was just getting into cream blushes. Like y'all, I could not mess up. Like the more you blend this, the more sheer it gets, and you just build it up to get it to your liking. And that is why I really, really do recommend the Fenty Beauty cream blushes. So if you don't want to spend the coins on the Fenty blush and you need a more affordable option that gives you that nice flush of color that is also very, very beginner friendly, that I do feel like you can work your way up to a nice flush, this one is from Morphe. This one I love for my no makeup days. I wear this and it gives me the perfect flush of color. Like it just looks effortless. I can apply this on top of powders as well and just build my way up. It gives the same vibe as the Fenty, to be honest. This is kind of pretty close to the Fenty Summertime Wine in shade. It's not the exact same thing, but it is pretty close. As I said, I love this for like every day to get that nice flush of color without looking like I'm wearing blush. I love something like this. This one is pretty inexpensive as well. As I said, this is from Morphe and this is in the shade Mighty Mauve. So this is what this one looks like. It is close to the Fenty, but it's not the exact same thing. So this is this one here from Morphe. As I said, it's a very, very subtle kind of blush. As I said, it is a very, very subtle everyday kind of blush. So I feel like if you are a beginner, this is a perfect blush to start with. Because if I'm being honest, when you wear blush for the very first time, you're gonna feel weird. You're gonna think that you look weird. So starting with something like this, it is just perfect. Okay, you guys, so the next one that I have is honestly one of my favorite, or if not my favorite, blush palette from the drugstore. This is the Makeup Revolution X Roxi blush palette. I'm going to say this right now, the camera does not do this blush palette justice. Every time I convince somebody to buy this blush palette, once they try it, they're just as amazed as I am. This is just the perfect blush palette. I feel like you get a ton of colors to work with. As I said, the camera doesn't really do it justice, but it's just so beautiful. I personally love this corner right in here. You get a orange, a peach, a pink, and like a mauve kind of color. I love this. When I'm ready, I just mix all the shades to get that nice perfect color. Currently on sale, I believe on Ulta for like $9. If you don't pick up anything from this video, you guys, let it be this blush palette. I love it that much. It's just the perfect blush palette. Don't judge it by the camera. Like once you see it in person, you tap that brush in and apply it to your cheeks. Trust me, you will get that nice rich color payoff. I love this so much. I'm going to swatch a few shades just to show you guys. So I went ahead and I swatched this corner right in here, just my favorite corner. I feel like I reach for this corner a lot more. And when I tell you, you definitely get that color payoff. This is what they look like. You are definitely going to get that color payoff. It's just the perfect blush palette from the drugstore. As I said, it's currently on sale for $9, so run and grab this one. The next one that I have is from Rare Beauty. This one is a liquid. I think this is my only liquid blush formula in my collection, if I remember correctly. But if you want to try liquid blushes and you don't know where to start, or you're just looking for something that isn't going to be complicated, this one from Rare Beauty, the Rare Beauty blush formula is absolutely amazing. They have a matte formula and they have a dewy formula. This one that I have is a matte formula. So this one you can apply on top of your creams, and you can also apply this on top of your powders, and it will not lift anything. It is just a beautiful blush. As I said, when I'm using a liquid blush like this one, I like to apply it to the back of my hand and then go in with a sponge, because I'm not a pro when it comes on to liquids, so I prefer to do it that way, and that way I get a more smoother application. This one is in the shade Love. So this is what this one looks like. It's like a rich kind of fall kind of orange. I love this one for the fall and winter months. As I said, what I do is I just pinch my sponge, blend it like that, and then pop it on the cheeks. Blend it like that and then pop it on the cheeks. And it's just beautiful on the skin. I don't know if you guys can see that it really brought my blush back to life. This is just a really, really nice blush formula. I feel like this is good if you are beginner as well. You cannot really mess up, especially if you go with this kind of technique. You can always go in with more and like build it up to your liking. And I just love the formula of the Rare Beauty blushes. Like honestly, you cannot go wrong with these. So definitely try them out from Rare Beauty. So the next one that I have is a powder blush. This one is really, really pricey, but I do feel like it is worth it, because this one is very, very pigmented. This is from Pat McGrath. This one is in the shade Electric Bloom. This one, as I said, is very, very pigmented. You have to use a very, very light hand with this blush, because trust me, the color payoff is there. The formula is very, very smooth. This is just top tier if you're looking for a good powder blush and you don't mind spending that extra bit of coins. I do recommend this one from Pat McGrath, because this will literally last you forever. So this is what this one looks like. As I said, very rich, very, very beautiful. So this is what this one looks like. The powder for this is a little bit loose, but it applies really, really nicely. It's just so fine. It is just like butter on the skin. This is a really, really nice orange blush if you're looking for a good pinky kind of orange. It is a beautiful blush to try out. As I said, it is very pricey. So if you are okay with spending that bit of coin, I do recommend it from Pat McGrath. The next one that I have is a mix of creams and powders. This is a blush palette from Patrick Ta, one of my favorites. This is the Major Headlines blush palette. This was a limited edition palette, but you can get all of these in like duos, so I'll have the duos linked down below. I am obsessed with this blush palette. It is the perfect cream and powder combo. You can apply the creams on top of the powders, or you can do the powders on top of the creams. It is just a beautiful blush palette. Like you get a little bit of everything. So this one is perfect for every day. This is the perfect orange, and then this one, if you want to dabble in a little bit of pink, this is a really, really nice one. At first, when I first got this blush palette, I was like, oh yeah, this pink is not going to work for me, because like pink on dark skin, I don't know. But when I tried it, it is beautiful on the skin. It just has that really, really nice finish to it, where the pink doesn't look like a ashy dry pink, if that makes any sense. It's just the perfect pink if you want to try out a good pink blush. I do recommend this from Patrick Ta. So I believe the pink one is called She's a Doll, the one in the middle is called She's Vibrant, and then the one for everyday right over here is called She's Baked. So as I said, they come in duos, so you'll get She's Baked in a duo, She's Vibrant in a duo, and She's a Doll in a duo. I just love this blush palette so much. So I know my swatches aren't perfect, but the top one, the first two, cream and powder, is She's a Doll. The one in the middle, cream and then powder, is She's Vibrant. And then the one at the bottom here is She's Baked. Usually with blush palettes, you don't really use all the shades, because there's going to be that one shade that just doesn't work for you. But I feel like with this blush palette, even though She's Baked isn't my favorite from the blush palette, I do feel like I can wear this shade for like an like everyday kind of blush, I can pull off all these shades from this blush palette. So if you're looking for good cream blush duos, I definitely recommend Patrick Ta. A little bit more pricey, but not too expensive because you're getting two for the price of one. So that is why I recommend his blush duos, and the formula is just chef's kiss. And the final blush that I have is my recent blush discovery that I have been in love with. This is from One Size Beauty. This is their blush trio. This one is in the shade Fire Starter. As I said, I love a good orange blush, and if you want the perfect orange blush, this is it. The perfect cream, perfect powder, and then a perfect little shimmery blush if you want something like that. This is just beautiful. The price is just right for 3 different blushes. It is just beautiful on the skin. When I tell you pigmented, I mean pigmented. You are definitely going to get value for your money with this blush palette right here. This is what this one looks like. At the top, cream, in the middle, powder, and then right here at the bottom is the shimmery, shape-shifty kind of orange. And I tell you, this is literally the perfect orange blush. This is another one. If you don't get anything, get this. Like, this is so good. It's just the perfect orange combo if you want like value where you're getting both a cream and a powder. This is what I recommend. Okay, you guys, so my swatches are a little bit crooked, but I went ahead and I swatched all the blushes that I mentioned in today's video in the order that I mentioned them. So this one right here is CoverGirl. This is e.l.f. These two right here is LYS. These two, Fenty. This one, Morphe. This one is the Roxi blush palette. I only swatched one shade because I don't have any space. This one is the Rare Beauty blush, liquid blush. This is the Pat McGrath. This one right here is the Patrick Ta cream blush. This one is the pink shade She's a Doll. And then this one right here is from the One Size blush palette. This is the cream shade. All right, you guys, so as I said before, I only went ahead and I swatched one of each shade from like the blush palettes that I mentioned because I swatched them throughout the video, and I just wanted to give you guys a roundup at the end of the video. But that is everything that I have. I really hope you guys found this video helpful. I really hope you found something, whether you're a beginner or you're a pro and you're just looking for a new blush to try out. This is currently my favorite blushes from my collection, and I have a lot of blushes. I didn't expect to have this much, and I still have more that I didn't mention in this video. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know your favorite blush in the comments section down below, and I'll definitely give it a try. If your favorite was mentioned in today's video, let me know. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, everything that I mentioned I will have linked in the description box down below for you guys, but bear in mind some of these links are affiliate links, so if you shop through these links I will make a small commission. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.